Hi, it's Table Talk, the show where we take your comments and topics using the hashtag Table Talk on Twitter and Reddit. We cut them out, we put them in a bowl, we talk about them. I'm Steve.
I'm Joe.
I'm Dani.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. You guys need yourselves a domain name for anything that you want to make on the internet. You can have a website about anything, and then you got to give it a name. Get that name domained at GoDaddy.com. Use the code 199NERD. And you can get the website domain name for $1.99.
You can get ilovepizza.com.biz.net.uk.
You can get ilove.com.pizza.org.
Let's talk about your stuff. All right. From Claudia Picado at Claude Picard. That's pretty fun. I like that.
Claude Picard.
Claude Picard. I'm supposed to chew auto pops.
You just crunched it.
Oh, this is fun. I don't think we've ever done this before. Claude Picard asks, what did your childhood bedrooms look like?
Ooh.
A lot like my adult bedroom.
That sounds about right.
With toys and posters and stuff everywhere.
I had a life-size Pacey and Dawson poster.
Oh, wow.
Life-size. First season when Pacey had the Caesar cut. I had a lot of big posters. I had an Osbourne's poster.
Wait a minute. Did that wait? Oh, shit.
There goes the fucking neighborhood.
Wait, did the Dawson
Osbourne's
poster get you through your adolescence?
I really liked the Osbournes.
Did it help you
They
a
were
lot?
like one of the first reality TV families.
I guess, yeah.
I was like probably
I watched
15 or
it.
16
I
when they
admit, I
came
watched
out.
it.
I watched it.
And you can still feel how fake it was, too.
Oh, yeah.
Ocean! Ocean!
Ozzy! Ozzy!
I hated those kids so bad.
Yeah, they're big brats.
Oh, man. Could not stand them. My room, I shared it with my little brother for most of my adolescence. So we had a red metal bunk bed, and I had the top.
Oh my god, I have a very similar situation.
You on the top?
I was on the bottom, but we had bunk
I was gonna
beds.
say you wouldn't be a.
No, I was on the
No,
bottom.
no,
for sure.
no.
I'm a top guy.
I'm a
You're
top
bottom
guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I had
That's
that.
a whole other thing.
And then I had like stickers that you get every once in a while. You get cool stickers for whatever, and I had them just plastered on the inside panel of the bed. And then our room was. We're gonna get super specific.
Please do.
It had like confetti white wallpaper with like confetti sprinkles all around it on the bottom, and then the wallpaper cut off, and then it was painted light blue, and then at the top, you know how you have those like the wallpaper that's just kind of like a border wallpaper at the top of walls sometimes from like houses from the 80s. We had this reoccurring set of 3 sneakers connected to sweatpants, so it would be like you'd see this much. Like this, and then just be like in different positions.
You had little feet all around
All
the
the
top.
way, but they glowed in the dark.
Oh, cool!
It was so cool.
That sounds great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then we had a Nintendo Entertainment System and a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, depending on the year you were in the room, that we played all our video games.
We had heroin blood on the ceiling of our childhood bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Heroin blood?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, because you know when you use heroin, kids, you get a little blood in the needle first, and then you squirt out a little bit of the blood and the heroin up on the ceiling, so you can get it out of there, and then you mixed it in with your blood a little bit.
What kind of wallpaper did you have?
It was dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We also had the strip border but ours was like in the middle for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was dinosaurs.
Yeah.
There was like a yellow Triceratops and a red T-Rex, and they're all cartoony and pretty cool. My brother and I shared a bunk bed as well. I slept in the bottom because of course my brother's older and he was dominant. He was kind of a bully, so he slept up top.
Older brother always gets the top.
Oh yeah. That was fine. I was too scared of the top anyway.
What kind of wallpaper did you have?
I had just like pink, like it was already painted when we moved in, but my walls were like a collage. I was a very typical teenage girl where like I took all of my DVDs, I ripped out the DVD covers for like Say Anything, for Ferris Bueller, all of my movies, and all my CD. I had like Fiona Apple and Jewel and all that shit, and just was you couldn't see wall.
Yeah.
There was just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
There was like Teen Bop, Leonardo DiCaprio shit everywhere.
Boys you liked up on the wall.
Boys I liked all over the wall. Posters for bands.
Was
posters.
JTT up there? Mm-mm. What about
Devin Sawa was up there.
really?
Same thing.
Pretty much. What about Jonathan Brandis? Was he up there?
No, Matthew Lawrence was up there from Boy Meets World and Brotherly Love. I love
Oh,
that
okay.
guy. I
Yeah,
love that guy.
What about the kid from Erie, Indiana? Was he up there? Emery something, or what was his name?
I don't think I watched Erie.
Ethan Embry?
Ethan Embry? Is that
No,
He wasn't in Erie,
No,
Indiana.
he's from Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, Ethan
Do you remember
Embry.
Erie, Indiana? You
I
know
remember
who I'm
Erie,
talking about?
Indiana, but I don't remember that kid's face.
So he
that
was in
well.
Hocus Pocus also.
Oh, that kid.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't do anything for me.
Omri Katz.
Ah! He
Good
did nothing
job,
for
Owen.
me.
Okay.
He did nothing.
He did
for
nothing
me.
for me either.
I
Thanks for
honestly,
asking.
when I was a teenager, I liked Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin. I was all about these older comedian types.
Yeah.
I had one poster of a girl ever it was in my high school room, which was different than my adolescent room. I had a picture of Jenny McCarthy in a bikini on my wall eating a hot dog.
Was it pretty intense? Was it intense that you had that?
I don't know if it was intense, but I just remember that was the only like blatantly like I'm a virile young kid going through puberty and there's a naked girl on my wall.
A friend of mine gave me a Britney
She's
Spears.
naked?
Ish, naked enough for 15.
Yeah.
Were your parents upset about it?
No.
A friend of mine got me a Britney Spears poster as a joke and like hung it up in my wall on my wall for me.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, I hate this. Take it down. I don't
up
want Britney Spears in there. It's disgusting. Why would you? I hate pop music.
Was your friend's name Steve Zaragoza?
Did you know him too?
He's a good guy, kind of a pervert.
I also had a Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey poster.
That's
Oh,
pretty
hell
cool.
yeah.
And I had my buddy Will worked at the movie theater, so he would bring me home like big banners. Like he would come home and be like, "Oh, dude," well, he would come over.
We were just gonna throw this away. Here you go.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
He would
that's the
bring out
best. I worked
standees.
in a movie theater and I love getting posters.
Dude, I was fucking all about that shit. I had this massive Death to Smoochie banner.
God, that was my favorite comedy growing up.
So
my
good.
God.
And
Or
I
in
had
high school.
I had a Lord of the Rings banner too. Oh, I was like fucking. Oh, my room was just covered with cool posters. All right. Adrian Creation asks, what celebrity / historical figure do you think was sexy / cool when they were young? I think Harrison Ford looked freaking cool.
Ooh, Harrison Ford in Blade Runner is beautiful.
You know what?
But I'm gonna get real with you right now.
Oh, get real,
get
girl.
real.
Elliot Gould in MASH. He looks so fucking good.
That's so strange.
Oh my
man.
god.
I don't think
no.
anyone saw that coming.
No. Oh my god. He's so hot.
The fuck?
Elliot Gould MASH circa the 70s, please.
Wow.
He's beautiful.
Okay.
Wow, girl.
Oh man.
I was really into Jennifer Connelly growing up as a kid.
And what's it?
Labyrinth.
Zoolander?
14-year-old Labyrinth Jennifer Connelly.
Well, when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying she was 14 at
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
She was pretty young.
Yeah. She was like 14 or 15 or something. Yeah.
But she seemed way older. She
Oh,
still
yeah.
does seem way
Yeah,
older
yeah,
than
yeah.
14.
Well, I remember watching that as a kid and going like, "Wow, that girl's like super old and mature." And then
It was the eyebrows.
eyebrows. Oh, she's
Absolutely.
beautiful in those eyes. Also, you know that girl from The Wizard who ended up going off to be in that band?
Oh, Jenny Lewis.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
With red hair?
Wait, what band did she end up being in?
She's
Rilo Kiley or something?
and
Yeah.
then she's gone solo too. And she was in True Beverly Hills. She's great.
She's adorable.
adorable.
Yeah, I think I was in love with her as a kid too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I also had a huge crush on the nerdy chick in Real Genius.
Oh, I know you were telling me that.
Yeah. I had a thing for like brunettes with like short hair.
So you were like, if you watched Three's Company, you were more for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't even have to say her name, but not the one that did
Not
the
Suzanne
Stairmaster.
Summers?
Yeah, not
The
Suzanne
other
Summers.
one?
Yeah.
Janice.
Janice?
You go back to that show if you watch it now.
It's crazily risque.
It's super just covered in sex.
It's just
the
the
whole
most
thing.
sexually tense show ever of
And
all
it's just
time.
dripping. Your TV is
Yeah.
moist when you watch
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah.
It's like a big blue. That's what Blue Balls is
It's
like
great.
visually.
Yeah.
Because it's super gross, and then Don Knotts will fucking bust in and be like, "What's going on?"
You know what I never understood as a kid? Like it would always confuse me, like, why Jack Tripper would never, like, accept the girl's advances. He never accepted any advances.
They're his roommates.
Oh.
He's not gonna shit where he eats.
Yeah, but it's like, they were always all over.
At least
like,
not on camera.
Girls were, like, all over him, and he's always like, I don't know.
I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah. I've got to see what's going on in the other room.
Didn't he try and date? It's not Janice. It's not Janice.
It's not
But I'm
Janice.
just gonna keep calling her
Go ahead,
Janice.
do it.
Didn't he date Janice for a little bit?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
they had a very
I don't know.
short storyline.
I don't know. I wasn't too into the show. I just remember watching it because I was like, those are some short shorts that blonde girl's wearing.
I don't quite understand the feelings that are surging through my body right now.
Yeah, but I'm very into these girls that I want to stare at.
You know who I had a big crush on? And it's not like an older celebrity now. It's actually pretty much the same age. I had a huge crush on Alex Mack.
Hey,
Larissa
all right.
Lane.
Yeah. What?
She's
I get
cute.
it.
And I also had a massive crush on Anna Chumsky from My Girl.
Oh, My Girl.
Oh, hey, Veda Sultanpuss.
Yeah, I was.
She's
I was
adorable.
head
I wasn't
over
into her.
heels
I
for
just-
that girl.
I wasn't.
Because they were just like natural pretty.
I was head over heels. She was so cute.
I'm trying to think of because I liked Christina Ricci a lot as a teenager.
Oh
yeah, very much into Christina Ricci.
That makes sense because she's like, she's cute, but she's also got that eerie.
Yeah, she's got the dark side.
Yeah,
Where it's like
creepy
she's
way
not
about
like
her.
like I would see the blonde girl next door cheerleader girl, and then I would see Christina Ricci, and I'd be like, move out of here, cheerleader.
If you go hang out with
Wow.
Christina Ricci, you're gonna have way more fun.
Yeah, I'd rather hang out with Christina Ricci.
You're gonna do weird stuff.
Yeah, like
We
she would be the
assume.
first one that
Yeah.
would
We
introduce
don't
me to
know.
weed or something, or she'd be like the first person. She'd be the girl.
She'd
that
be like,
shows-
I found a dead body by the river.
yeah,
Let's
or she'd
go
be
look
like,
at it.
I've got this movie called Dead Alive. Do you
Yeah.
want to watch it?
Yeah.
I'd be like, fuck yeah.
But what if you went over and she's like, let's go to Panera?
I'd be like, fuck you.
No!
That's too weird, girl. I also had a massive crush on Andy from Goonies when I was a kid.
Yeah, she's cute.
She did it for me.
Yeah, she was cute. She had the vibe of the girl from The Wizard to me.
Yeah.
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 Because that same kind of like red hair with bangs.
Yeah.
Wizard's such a bad but good movie.
Wizard's so bad.
Is that Fred Savage too?
Yeah. California.
And
Oh,
ends
that
in
was
dinosaur,
close.
and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh yeah, in
So
Palm
weird.
Springs. And then and then
Puts the
remember it gets all
lunchbox-
sad
yeah.
and weird, like a kid remembers his dad or
It was
something,
like
or his
Bo
mom.
Bridges'
Or,
last opportunity.
Joe Sherman
Bridges.
at Joe_Sherman_ period said, what was the last thing, movie, book, show, that made you think differently? Mine is the history of Middle Earth books.
Oh,
Made you think differently?
made me think differently.
I don't even know what that means. This question made me think differently.
Yeah. We're,
I mean,
What the hell?
I don't know if I'm at the age where I should be able to still be affected by stuff, but it's a little harder for me to like be like, oh, that's interesting.
like,
You know,
turns your
every
life
once in a
around.
while I'll watch a movie that makes me feel like, yeah, that's life. That's what life is. Or like that makes sense to me. Like the Muppet movie. The Muppet movie. That's life. Life can be that simple and carefree and happy. Like
Ralph gets real deep sometimes.
I don't know if I brought it up here before. I bring it up a lot in the writer's room and in my life. Like close friends are annoyed by how often I bring this up now. But the movie I've seen recently that kind of affected me, was Under the Skin.
Well, you've been talking
Yeah.
about Under the Skin a
I
lot
really
lately.
liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, the title says it all. It
the
gets
mood
under
is
your damn
fantastic,
skin.
and it's one of those movies where like I do wish there had been a little more information.
Yeah.
But it's really like a big budget.
But
art
it's based
film
on a
almost.
book. So
Yeah.
you can read the book and you can get some more info about
They do
like,
leave a lot of it to you to kind of
Yes.
just feel how you want to feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And take from it what you want.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean,
What are you?
you okay?
Oh, I'm listening. I'm just trying to find something. Keep talking. Keep talking.
I just felt severely creeped out after watching it. Like it creeped me the fuck out.
It is. It's creepy.
Like the music.
when
and
they
the
go into
sound.
that dark room and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, it's like
And there's a lot of dick
a lot
in
of
that
dick.
movie.
Erect dick.
A lot of dick. A lot
Straight
of
up
erect,
erect.
and just like flumbly.
You guys watch C.G.P. Gray videos?
What the fuck is that?
He's the guy that made that video, The Humans Need Not Apply. He does a bunch of informational videos. We use some of his stuff for the political stuff way back in the day.
Oh, right.
he on you?
Yeah, he's on YouTube. He makes good stuff. It's all like educational, like smart people stuff. But he did one called Humans Need Not Apply about how automation's just
Yeah, you
taking
showed me that.
all of our
Yeah.
jobs away, like in the very near future, and how like society's fucked. That made me go think differently. I was like depressed for 3 days after watching that videos.
You know what? We didn't learn shit from Y2K.
Y2K.
everybody
We
thinks,
had
like,
a warning and we were just like, and we didn't.
Nope.
Fuck it.
The video explains it's like, oh, it's not just the monotonous stuff that's gonna go away, like assembly line work and everything. It's like, oh no, robots are doing art now. They're creating music. They're doing all this stuff that all these people think they're gonna be safe
Yeah.
from. And we keep
Preparing
making them.
food.
Oh man, my poor kids are gonna have it way worse than me.
See, that's the thing. That's what I keep saying.
They were already coming up with the self-driving car.
And that was one of the things he talks about.
Yeah, that's
all of those driving industry jobs gone.
This is what's gonna happen.
The Google
There's
car
gonna-
hasn't gotten a wreck. It's drove
Right.
800,000
Which is amazing, right? Can you imagine?
Wrecks.
Oh my
one wreck.
God.
One wreck. A human influence.
Now think about that. Think about when they start to market that thing and they start to
Yeah.
sell it to consumers. 0 accidents in 5-year tests. or
Uber is
something.
like killing taxi services now. The Google car is gonna kill Uber.
Yeah.
Yes. Google car is gonna kill everything. It's gonna kill the
Because it's gonna become sent just murder
Is it
people.
kill people? Well, here's what I'm thinking.
It's just gonna fold into itself and become a box.
Let's get like a transformer.
Yeah.
Let's get real bleak real quick, because
Okay.
if that video is to be believed, and I don't see why it shouldn't be, and I don't see why we're not headed into a completely automated future, then I don't know how, because the population is growing exponentially and at a frightening speed, and that means new jobs need to be had and available, and that means new jobs need to be created. But if we're automating all of these jobs,
That's the
and
point of the video, is that it's like,
Right.
what's going to happen to the middle and the lower classes? Because
well,
especially in
right.
for me, it's like in a capitalistic society, I don't see things will have to change if we're going to go, because you don't want to hinder innovation, right?
Right.
So these things need to happen, but when that becomes cheaper than the human force, which it obviously will be,
and more
Yeah.
accurate,
And- yeah, exactly.
and yeah.
what happens to the parts of society that are the human force, which is basically
that's-
the 99%.
Yeah.
That's why the capitalistic society would have to change, and I'm not saying it has to become a socialist society, but what I am saying is that the mindset of the human being definitely needs to become more about the fellow man and how we function as a group.
Which is where you start to get in that gray area of like who gives enough of a shit with enough power to want that.
Yeah.
Because we can hear people in their campaigns promise change and things are going to get better, but in reality they get there and there's just a massive pile of papers that are there from the guy that fucked it up before that guy that needs to be taken care of before you can get anywhere near the change that needs to happen right now. And it just feels like
I don't think they care so much about the condition anymore as they do about efficiency.
right.
And like that's where.
But the other thing is like, and this is something I keep thinking about too, and I keep coming back to because there's this guy, and I talked about this. There's this guy in the airport that like just fucking destroyed my brain and turned it completely upside down because he was telling me about how like just with the soda companies alone and the food companies, there's been so much experimentation with cheaper alternative like lab created things that just will make something taste good and is cheaper to make, that we there's just this overabundance of things that we don't really know what the adverse effects of are. So like in 10 years, he was telling me, and he was like some kind of scientist guy that worked for a big major soda company.
He wasn't a homeless man.
He wasn't a homeless man. No, he checked out. He told me that in the next 10 years we're gonna start to see the effects of
Red Bull.
exactly of Red Bull and the things that they're adding into Coke Zero that make it like taste sweet and
You
delicious.
know what they never tested long term? Botox.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen in like 20 years? It's gonna be some lady walking down the street and it's gonna be fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark.
But see, that's the thing. That's
and then everyone who's gotten it is gonna be like, that's gonna happen to me in 10 years. And one by one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders
But
of the
that's
Lost Ark.
Botox. Botox is still part of like a small percentage of it's not something that everyone's using. Like Coke Zero is available in your corner Burger King and shit.
Yeah.
Like there are children drinking Coke Zero, and that shit is like affecting their bodies and brains, and it's awful and it's fucked up. And so with all this automation and food and like,
Do you want a Coke Zero right now?
I do want a Coke Zero really bad, but I know it's gonna fucking kill me. And if it doesn't kill me, I know that whatever is in my blood, if I ever have a kid someday, I don't want a fucking kid, but if I ever have a kid someday, it's
Why don't
gonna
you just knock on your dick.
it's
then?
gonna pass that.
Just drink more Coke
It's
Zero.
gonna pass that shit on to a
Just
poor
dip
kid.
your dick into a can of Coke Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Every night before you
It'll
go
taste
to bed.
delicious.
And in the end, it doesn't matter because the robots are gonna murder.
Wait,
Yeah.
I didn't say what thing
Oh.
changed me.
Oh
it changed
God,
you,
we were
Dani.
talking
I'm
about that
sorry.
forever.
I'm sorry.
Holy
I'm
shit.
sorry.
It's okay.
What my point was, we're all doomed.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Stop having kids.
So I read a book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance,
Oh.
which is fantastic. It's a little longer, but it's half a story of a man on a trip on a motorcycle with his son across the country, and the other half of it is just a lot of philosophy on when you fix a motorcycle, you can't just do the same thing for each instrument. You have to really when you solve a problem, it's particular to the problem. It's being in the present moment. It's taking the time, and that is parlayed into the way that you interact with people, the way that you know. There's all these great passages about when you're hiking up a mountain, the guy who's only concerned about getting to the top of the mountain doesn't rest at the right moments, doesn't take it in what's around him.
He's pushing himself too hard.
He doesn't do it right. The people that are present exactly wherever they're at are.
It's the people that are experiencing the journey that are getting the most out of life, as opposed to the people that are focusing on the destination.
Yeah, and it's a lot of division between classical thought and romantic thought, but in general, it's just the idea of like you can't. There's no manual to solve every single thing in your life, emotionally, philosophically, mentally. Like you have to take things each individually as they are. 2 different motorcycles can't be fixed the same exact way.
So at the end of the book, do they find the killer?
Do they fall in love? Does he fall in love with his motorcycle? Does he?
But in general, I mean, it's a long mix of like a story of a man who went through a huge philosophical crisis, going across country with his son, and then also just talking about the philosophy of like trying to find the answers to everything in a way that's like
that's fun.
That fits everything.
That sounds
and
heavy.
It isn't, and it makes you
Sounds
kind of
heavy.
calm down. And when I was reading it, I was more at peace as I was even just reading the book. It took me like 7 months to finish because I don't sit down and read often. Like it's hard for me to sit still, but it just put me at ease when I was reading it.
I find that's the way it is with most books. Even if you're reading a thriller or something like that, if you can just frickin' slow down for a second and stop the flow of information, which starts with the thing that's in your pocket, which is just always there, and you're bored, and you just get on that.
Yeah.
Instead of reading a book, we sit in our beds for 7 hours at a time, just going through the same fucking 7 websites that we're always going through.
Sometimes I'll be
looking at
like,
the same
I just spent
crap.
2.5 hours on the internet. What did I do?
Exactly.
Well,
Take
that's
out
what I
that
like
book,
to-
and it just slows down.
That's
the world.
why.
It does.
But that's why I definitely agree with you. But when some habit I got into on when using my phone is like I'll do the Twitter thing and the Facebook thing and whatever, and then just go Instagram, whatever, the mindless stuff. But then I'll go to Reddit, and then I'll go through my subscribed subreddits on the front page, and there's like things to learn there.
But I feel like Reddit's
and
the
news
same
there.
thing.
But I mean,
It's a constant flow of bombarding information that you're just constantly clicking through back and forth. Sure, you might spend a minute on something as opposed to 30 seconds here and there.
When you're on the internet,
but how much of Reddit
the
are you
options are
retaining?
unlimited with
How
what
much
you
of
can
it,
look at.
of that 2 hours you're spending on Reddit, are you remembering the next day?
I mean, if it's truly interesting and if it truly affects me, then I'll remember it. I mean, I subscribe to a lot of Reddits that are self-help kind of stuff and anxiety type stuff that I've definitely utilized in my life that have been very helpful. And so, but I mean, and also things that I didn't fucking know about the world that I'm learning about there. But I guess you're talking more about like how frantic the internet
It
is,
is.
right?
It's when
it's
you
just
take
all of our
yeah.
minds are short-term now,
Yeah.
like short-term attention spans.
If you
Yeah.
take the time to focus on one story, one thing, because we have access to like so many things.
Yep.
And there's a quote from Susan Orlean where she says, to be passionate about something just helps you whittle the world down to a more manageable size. Because there's just too many directions, too many places to go. So like with a book, you have one story, one streamlined thing that you're able to sit and kind of focus on. And I found, and the same with a book, or sometimes even just with a movie or whatever, just being able to focus on one thing without changing what I'm paying attention to every like 20 seconds.
Well, it gives
or
you a
whatever.
focused, pinpointed task as opposed to when you're on Reddit or on the internet. You're still just searching. You're just kind of
Yeah.
like, you're throwing 20 different hooks out into the ocean of information and hoping that you can hook onto something for a little bit and reel it in for a couple of minutes. But with a book, you've got this agenda.
Yeah.
The agenda is that story. That agenda is the moment, and you're 100% immersed into it. Plus, it's just better to be off of that thing for a little bit. It's like variety in life. It's the smell, it's the feel, it's experiencing more than the thing that you're experiencing like now, like all day. It's always on you.
Yeah.
It feels so good for me, and it's hard for me. I'm a hypocrite when I talk about this. It's hard for me to take a second and put it away,
Yeah.
like get away from it. But then when I do, after that initial like subconscious shock that my system goes through of me not having my phone, and I'm just doing something else, it feels so good.
Yeah.
And I think it's healthy for the brain to do that.
Sometimes I'll just lay in my bed and look at my ceiling and not look at anything. I'll take like, even if it's just 5 minutes and just lay there. Because it's like resetting.
Yeah.
It's resetting. It's letting your natural thoughts kind of drift through.
But can you get Angry Birds on that ceiling? Or? All right. Well, that should be that, right?
Yeah, we're good. That was long.
Yeah, we went off on a little bit of a
Been here
tangent.
for
That's
3
okay.
hours.
But thanks for watching, guys. And if you want to submit topics for the old bowl, you can use the hashtag Table Talk, or you can go to reddit.com/r/SourceFed, find the appropriate thread, and post some topics there. I'm Steve Zaragoza.
Joe Beretta.
I'm Dani Rosenberg.
Thanks for joining, Dani.
Oh, thank you for
Love it
having
when you're
me.
on here. Love it when you're on here, baby. Aww.
Right here. Oh. That's not what I meant.
Okay.